purpose of this webinar is to introduce the program for those who are first-time attendees in particular. And we have a very small audience today here, but this will also be posted on the website of the AOM to provide a guidance for people who want to learn more about what is actually happening at the conference within the international management part. So that's the idea of this webinar. So the fact that we have a small audience is not a problem. Those of you who are here, and I can see, welcome Julian, welcome Caroline, welcome Miriam. You can ask some questions along the way, and welcome Joyce. You can ask questions along the way if you have, or ask them later. Oh, welcome Sony, and congratulations to be shortlisted for one of the awards. I forgot which award it was, but your name did pop up in the program somewhere. All right, hi Sony. Let me share my slides and then we go. Okay, so in terms of the program responsibilities, it's me who has the responsibility for the main program, and it's Ilya Kuipers of Singapore Management University who has the responsibility for the PDWs, or the pre-program, which are more focused on professional development. Just what does the International Management Division do? We are one subsection within the Academy of Management. And we are specifically dealing with all kinds of questions that have an international dimension to it. Where international means cross-border, it does not mean outside the US. I think this is a very important point, but the Academy is traditionally very US-based, and in some schools in the US, what we would call regional studies would be part of international. And while that is very important, it's not really what this division does. We are interested in how do you manage businesses cross borders well in the interest of the organization itself. But we're also interested in the impact of businesses on global issues with the cross-border dimension, especially the role of the multinational enterprises in issues such as sustainability or global inequality and so on. Those sort of impact side is something we also concerned about in the International Management Division. We certainly go beyond trying to make the multinational more professional. If you want to get involved with the division, we have a number of committees, which I've listed on this slide here. You can reach out to the members. The contact emails are also available on the website, and we are currently preparing a newsletter where this information is also available. So if you are interested in getting involved with the division, a good way to start is work with one of the committees. In terms of the program, the AOM is a huge conference with thousands, literally, of participants, and it's taking place mostly across 5 hotels in downtown Chicago. And each division is allocated a particular hotel, and that means most of the participants, sort of kind of distracted today. Most of the events related to international management are in the Hyatt Regency Hotel. So if you make your hotel booking, you may either pick the Hyatt or a hotel in the vicinity of the Hyatt for your own convenience. Or if you make meetings with other people, potential employers, whatever, you will be spending most time in the Hyatt, I expect. The general structure of the program is such that there are 2 days allocated to pre-conference events, which are mainly professional development workshops. And then on the Saturday evening, we will have some social activities. On Sunday is the Consortia Day. And Sunday evening, we have an eminent scholar event, which is, I think, particularly interesting for people wanting to learn more about what international management research is about. Yadong Luo is the awardee this year. The main program where you will be presenting your own papers is Monday and Tuesday. And within Monday and Tuesday are also the sessions where people present papers that have been shortlisted for any of the awards. And Monday evening, don't forget, there is the gala event, which is always a highlight of the program for international management scholars. Let me start with the professional development workshops. The process is such most of the PDWs are submitted by colleagues who have an idea of they want to develop skills around a particular theme they're interested in. And then Ilya has made a selection because we've been given a quota on how many PDWs we can run. And that resulted in an acceptance rate of 76%. And there is a review process, and Ilya wishes to thank everyone who submitted a proposal, whether it was accepted or not, for your contribution to submitting and also for reviewing where appropriate. In terms of the program that Ilya has put together, we have two teaching PDWs. We have 3 others that are focused on skill building, like paper reviews, and 6 PDWs on specific themes. And in terms of the themes, actually, this resembles a little bit what I'm going to say about the main program as well, because these are themes that are hot topics in international management these days. So there are 2 PDWs focused on sustainability and social responsibility. There are 2 PDWs on digital economy and multinational enterprises, and there are 2 on geopolitics. So if you're interested in particular theme, Ilya has structured the program in such a way that you have in the same room a sequence of events that you might want to follow one after the others. You should check the final program whether or not the PDWs require pre-registration, as that is the case for some of them. So on Friday, we have 4 PDWs on geopolitics, geopolitics in international research, and we have decoupling and divesting, which of course also relates to geopolitics. And by the way, Alex Settles, who is also the host today in terms of setting up the webinar today. Thanks, by the way, Alex, for organizing today's event. Alex is also Alex is also hosting the PDW at Friday at noon. And then in the afternoon, we have one on state capitalism and the first of the 2 PDWs related to teaching. On the Friday evening, oops, I think on the previous slide I said Saturday evening. Let's check. This is Friday evening is the PDW social event for which you need to register. We've checked with the AOM just yesterday. The link is not yet available. It will be available. It's a nice social event to get to know some people while also getting to know Chicago from the perspective of a river cruiser. And there is also PhD student social, for which you also need to pre-register, but there's no fee involved in this. The contact for this is Afshin Hamrabi, who is the chair of the PhD Students Committee in the division. Saturday, we have, again, a series of PDWs, which focus on reviewing, on sustainability, on platform ecosystem that goes in the direction of digital economy, environmental sustainability. And we have a paper development workshop, which has a deadline, which passed formally on May 31st. But if you write a nice letter to Daphne and Pei and ask them, please, I didn't know about this, they will be considering your application. We agreed that with them. However, you would have to do that by the end of this week, right? So that you give a bit grace period for participants of today's webinar. And then in the afternoon, we also have a teaching PDW. On Saturday is the Consortia Day, which is 2 professional development workshops that the division regularly organizes. One is for doctoral students, one is for junior faculty. The deadline here is that we have the same issue. If you are writing to Jing Li or Charles Stevens that you only learned about this today, they will consider that if you write by the end of this week. The Junior Faculty Consortium has a deadline by the end of this week. Anyway, participants of both consortia are then also invited to join the Meet the Editors sessions, but even if you're not participating in the consortiums, you're welcome to do that. And then in the late afternoon, we move on and celebrate Yadong Luo, who is, of course, most of you will know him, who's an eminent scholar who has contributed on a lot of topics related to international management, especially as respect to emerging economies. And so myself being a scholar also focused on emerging economies, of course, I'm very pleased to honor him. And I know how influential his work has been on other people, including myself for that matter, right? So let's turn to the main program. This was my job for the first half of the year. We had 400 paper submissions and 39 symposia submissions. And as you can see from the graphs that I tried to generate here, the number of paper submissions is fairly stable. And the number of acceptance paper is also stable. Basically, we have an acceptance rate of 50%, which means if you got your paper accepted, there was a significant selection process here. And thank you for the reviewers. We had 394 reviewers who contributed to helping me making all those decisions. And mostly I follow the reviewers, except for cases where reviewers didn't come back to me. They were kind of challenging. We have 90% of assigned reviewers were actually completed. So you can imagine the 10% are the ones that added to my workload. But that means for the program, we have 196 papers in 49 sessions, which 49 sessions is actually exactly the same number we had last year. And we have 22 symposia. From the submissions, I've extracted the keywords. And if you look at these slides, you get a little bit of an idea what people within the field do, although there are lots of other keywords with smaller numbers, so this is a little bit of an incomplete picture. In terms of theory, international management scholars tend to use a lot of institutional theory, either the one from organization science or the one from economics, which probably relates to the fact that for international management, the external environment is very important, as opposed to the internal environment, which strategy or OB scholars may be more interested in. In method sections, I'm very pleased to see we have a substantive number of papers that use qualitative methods. So we have a relatively good balance, I would say. I mean, considering that there's a frequent complaint in the field that we do too much quant and don't pay enough attention to qualitative. On the bottom left of this slide, I listed some classic themes that international management researchers have been addressed for many years, but there are always new topics. In terms of hot topics, actually, the emerging market in multinationals have been a hot topic for many years now, but they continue to be of great interest to scholars in our field. And there's a strong focus on China in particular, but also on other emerging economies. I would expect that at least half of the 65 papers that use these keywords somehow relate to China. What is increasing this year in particular, is the geopolitics, political conflicts, sanctions. So the importance of the political environment for international management really is feeding into international management research much more than before. Corporate social responsibility, including environmental sustainability, is also a hot topic that is important to international management scholars, especially how multinational enterprises deal with different expectations in different countries, for example. I put here not trending on digital tech. I used the wording because relative to my own expectations, we didn't see that many papers that look at how the digital economies and technological change, anything from platform economy to artificial intelligence, how that is affecting international management. Scholars interested in that area seem to go into different divisions. And in the international management division, we don't see as much research as I would like to see in this area. That's why I put the word not trending there. I if we think about where our field should be going in the future, I would encourage people actually to look more closely at the implications of digitalization on various aspects of international management. Now, as I said, thank you for the reviewers earlier. There are a few people I want to particularly emphasize in thanking them. In terms of the symposia that we have within the program, we actually asked the board members to act as reviewers for the symposium proposals. So if you have submitted a symposium, this will be reviewed by board members plus one of my colleagues here. So you see Grazia San Angelo, Bill Newberry, Catherine Chin, and Ilya Kuipers. They are the current executive committee members. And Catherine Chin is outgoing or former board member, and Vanessa Hasse is a colleague here of mine here down the corridor who also helped me with this. So these 6 colleagues helped me with that. And I also had to generate a large list of long lists for awards, which we will talk a little bit about later. That also required some extra input from a number of colleagues whom I've listed here: Fabian Fröse, Cheng Wang Li, Valentina Marano, and Beth Rose. Right, so that brings us to the main program. On Monday and Tuesday, as I said, are all the paper presentations. For you as an attendee, if you're looking for what would be interesting sessions to attend, I recommend that you have a look at the paper sessions that have the word best paper finalists in the session title. And most of these are scheduled in the room Chominsky in the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And the awards we have, there are actually 8 different awards. One is a Best Paper Award sponsored by SEEPS. And then we have 7 more awards: HKUST Best Paper in Global Strategy, SEEPS Best Paper in OB/HRM OT, George Washington University Cyber Best Paper on Emerging Markets, Best Paper Corporate Social Responsibility Sustainability, Best Paper in International Corporate Governance, Georgetown Best Paper in International Business and Policy, and then the USC Douglas Knight paper in Multidisciplinary Research, which is actually an award that is specifically designed for junior scholars. So there is a limit on how many years you could be out of PhD to be eligible for that award. So the sessions where the finalists present their work are usually of particular interest and presumably have the better paper presentations, although you never know who is a good presenter or not, but at least they have done work that reviewers thought was of high quality. There is on Monday late afternoon an awards session when we will announce the winners of the awards. So if you're shortlisted for any award, please come. If you want to hear who is who in the field, that's also a good idea to show up. And that the award session directly follows the Best Dissertation Award finalists session in the same room. And after that, we have a reception, and for that we go to House of Blues, which is not very far from the hotels, and then we have a party until late. So that's basically the program for Monday and for Tuesday. Now, I said there is a finalist session for the best dissertation, and Sonia, you have a different haircut today. Welcome. So Sony is one of the persons who have been shortlisted for the best dissertation award. The others are Yuxi Cheng, who is now got a PhD at George Washington University. Jana Rui Raja Singh got a PhD at University of Michigan, and Michael Wolfsberger at Wirtschaftsuniversität Wien. So those are the 4 candidates whose PhD thesis is among the best in the year. On Tuesday morning, we will have a plenary session where leading scholars will talk about the future of the field, or you can also bring your own contributions, your ideas as to what should we do more in the field, where should we go. The presenters are the people who received a professional award. There are 4 professional awards that we give. One of them I already mentioned, that is Eminent Scholar for Yadong Luo. And then we have Jackson Liu. He got the award for Emergent Scholar. So he's a young scholar who is, I think it's 5 years out of PhD, and he has a really strong publication record. He looks at things like international experience and how that affects management. Then we have a distinguished service award to the discipline. This award goes to Beth Rose, who now is in India, although she lives in New Zealand, actually. And then we have the educator of the year, which is Nakia Boyachigia, who was a dean at the Sabancı University in Turkey for many years. And we have the session also has a discussant, which is Sonia Sackmann from Munich. So this is sort of a very interesting session to round up the conference on Tuesday morning. So we get everybody back together after the party. And, you know, we love partying, but we also love getting up early to have our professional conversations. And I think that's what I had prepared to share with you. So